Good morning. It's John Gilkison here. I haven't seen you all in a while, but we've been working on this project of the coefficient of drag body forms for Cybertruck, Rivian, and Ford pickup truck. It took a while to produce these graphs. So anyway, I wanted to shoot a quick video today. I may get down in the weeds a little deeper in later videos. I have yet to write a blog on this, so this is going to be more in the way of a summation. Just so a way to predicate this a little bit. Back in 2014, after I first got my Ford pickup truck, I had bought a Brett Herndon aero lid for it, and he also happened to have a boat tail, which I bought from him so I could test it. So, and as you can see, this kind of looks like the back half of a Cybertruck. So we have some experience with the aerodynamics of this Cybertruck, and we got that truck down to 0.30 drag coefficient. And so as soon as I seen the Cybertruck when it was introduced last year, I knew right away that the Cybertruck had a coefficient of drag of 0.30 or less. So we were excited about that. And I think a lot of people in the pickup truck world and the electric vehicle world are completely missing the point when they talk about styling and things like that on the Cybertruck. Before I get too far going here, my name's John Gilkison. Today's Friday, February 5th, 2021. And so let's cut right to the chase. These are the three graphs. The shortest one over here is the Cybertrucks right here. Okay? And the middle one would represent a Rivian at 0.35 drag coefficient. And that would be this one right here. And the way these graphs are laid out is it's in miles per hour across the bottom up to 130 miles per hour. And so, for example, with the Cybertruck, at 60 miles per hour, you'd be using 18 kilowatt hours. It's right over here is the kilowatts. You come right over here and you go down and there's 60 miles per hour. But on the other hand, you can see with the Rivian at 60 miles per hour, you're using 21 kilowatt hours to do that. And with a Ford pickup truck, you're up to about 21 and a half. So, and this is a 0.40 drag coefficient. So, in all the trucks, we're assuming have normal tires, not aggressive off-road tires or anything like that. And they weigh 6,000 pounds and have 36 square feet of frontal area. And this is an assumption we made about all three body forms to get them levelized to each other. Now the blue you're seeing down below is rolling resistance right here. And it's the same in all three vehicles, as you can see. So there's a point where you get, let me see here, where the rolling resistance and the aerodynamic drag are 50-50. And you can kind of roughly eye that in. Is like on the Cybertruck, it's probably in this area right in here somewhere around 50 miles an hour. Can you see that? So where this is about half of the total. It's a little over 50 miles per hour. It's somewhere in this neighborhood right here. But as the drag goes up on a body form, that's going to get lower and lower. So, for example, here it's going to be in the high 40s, and over here it's going to be for all practical purposes, around 40 miles per hour instead of 50. So that's one of your cardinal points that you need to pay attention to. Now, we're also assuming that the Cybertruck has a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack. That would be the tri-motor version, obviously. And Rivian has stated they have a 180 kilowatt hour battery pack for their vehicle. So when I calculated all the ranges and MPGs, it was all based on these assumptions. Now with the Ford, I'm assuming a 250 kilowatt hour battery pack, and I'm going to tell you why that's probably not going to be true. But it would need to be a 250 kilowatt hour battery pack in order to make up for the deficits, the hole it's dug itself for having a higher drag form. However, one of the things that happens is when you electrify a vehicle, 20% of the drag comes from the air inlets in the front for the radiator for cooling the internal combustion engine. And when you get rid of those, you lose 20% of the drag almost. And the mere act of electrifying a truck means you can panel in the underbody. And between those two, if you just did that to a Ford pickup truck, you electrified it, and you got rid of the radiator air inlets in the front, and you paneled in the body underneath. Just the mere act of doing that would lower the drag from 0.40 to 0.35 down in Rivian territory. So this is probably why Ford will not come up with a 250 kilowatt hour battery pack, besides the extra weight and cost, of course. But this is a good benchmark for what trucks are now. And this is one of the things I've been disheartened to see recently is, I think it's Transport Devolved is doing a show a couple times. They've done a show on how buyers, potential buyers for pickup truck prefer a standard looking truck. And this is just clickbait. Someone did a survey and they asked some kind of weighted questions so they could get the answers in their interest. And they just want to prove that an ordinary looking truck will sell better than a Cybertruck. And this would be for the finance guys or whatever. But people don't know what they want. And I'm telling you right now, if truck buyers go to look at this and they look at a Cybertruck and it's $10,000-$20,000 cheaper, it has more range, has more towing capacity, has more power, and the stainless steel body, it's more durable, all these features, they're going to make their decisions based on that. And also, Tesla's already has pre-orders for well over about 1.5 million Cybertrucks, so they're going to be selling all the Cybertrucks they can produce for the years to come. So I don't know why people want to do stories like this, but it's just clickbait in my estimation, and it's disingenuous in the extreme. The most important features of these trucks is their performance, and so I'm at about the 9-minute mark right now. See if I got any more points to click off here for you. Okay, well, I've explained all that. So what I'm going to do now is show you a picture. This is a silhouette, of course, but this is a ordinary pickup truck, and then this is a Cybertruck. And it's showing the laminar flow, much greater proportion of laminar flow over the Cybertruck. Shows why it has a lower drag coefficient. So this ends up being better performance. So what we want to do now is we've generated quite a few tables. And I don't want to even get into trying to flip this board around. I have a whole bunch of tables on the back side. And, but what I got here is these tables I've generated. So this one's on the Cybertruck, and what I've taken is at the various speeds I have the kilowatts it takes to do the various speeds. So for example, at 60 miles per hour, it takes 18.5 kilowatts to do 60 miles per hour in a Cybertruck, whereas it takes 20.5 to do 60 miles per hour in a Rivian. And it takes 22.3 kilowatts in a Ford pickup truck. So you can see right away that the Cybertruck at 60 miles per hour uses about 10% less energy. And we're not even going to get into discussions about the 4680 battery, how it's going to save mass because it's going to be structural, and because it's an advancement in battery production, and so forth. But at 60 miles per hour, the Cybertruck would do 95 miles per gallon, and it would have a range with a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack of 636 miles. So that is an important point. So even if you ramp up to 75 miles per hour, you're still at 79 miles per gallon, you still got 471 miles per range. So at 75 miles per hour on the interstate, you would have 471 miles of range, which means easily you could go 400 miles before you need to start juicing up. And obviously you want to juice up between 80 and 20%. I haven't done those calculations. But let's just, while you have those figures in your mind here, 60 and 75 miles per hour, let's just talk about the Rivian. The Rivian at 60 miles per hour is only getting 87 miles per gallon, not 95 miles per gallon. And it's only got 518 miles of range versus 636 miles of range. At 75 miles per hour, the Rivian's down to 63 miles per gallon, and it's only got 380 miles of range. So you could see the difference. Now, obviously, if you wanted a Rivian over a Cybertruck and you were willing to pay the energy penalty for it and pay the higher cost to buy one, that's what you'd do. But I'm here to tell you right now, there's a lot of people who make their decisions a little bit more practically than that. And so while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and throw in the Ford. And the Ford, with this 250 kilowatt hour battery pack, obviously is going to end up with a lot more range simply because it's just throwing more storage on board. But at 60 miles per hour, it's down to 79 miles per gallon versus 95 for the Cybertruck, and it's got 660 miles of range. Now that's not significantly better than the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck has 50 kilowatt hours of less battery storage on board, and yet it's only getting 20 some miles less range. This is the reason right here. This is it. This is the important thing to know. Not whether you like the style or you don't like it or you wouldn't be caught dead in it or whatever it is. People can't seem to make up their mind. They like pickup trucks that have angular shapes to them. You show them a Cybertruck and they don't like the look of it. Well, as soon as they go to buy one and they realize how much better performance it has, they're going to like it a lot better. And so here we are, the Ford at 75 miles per hour is down to 57 miles per gallon and 476 miles of range. And so even with a much larger battery pack, it's only about equivalent to the Rivian in range. And the Cybertruck is around 380. Excuse me, I got my papers mixed up. The Rivian's at 380 and 63 miles per gallon at 75 miles per hour. And the Cybertruck at 75 miles per hour is 471 miles of range to 79 miles per gallon. So the Cybertruck is about equal to the Ford pickup truck with 50 kilowatt hours of less battery pack. So I got to stop this here because I'm going over the 15-minute mark. So obviously we're going to have to get back to this in the future. But this is a really good start. Hope you're enjoying it. See you all down the road, everyone. Bye-bye.